Festival is proud to present Mr. Peter Gott, prize-winning farmer, wild boar producer, retailer and television personality. He will be demonstrating how to make Cumberland sausage. I am sure that he will also have some samples. Ladies and gentlemen, starting just behind me, Mr. Peter Gott.
What would you put in a Cumberland sausage? What would you put in it?
Oh, plenty of meat.
Plenty of meat, that's good. Right. She's on my side. You don't mind if I put pork in it, do you?
Oh, no.
Pork? Yeah? Anybody else? What else would you put in a Cumberland sausage? Herbs and spices, good. Herbs and spices. Any particular herbs and spices? Well, if you come from Carlisle, you'd say a bit of pepper and nutmeg. If you come from the south of the county, you would suggest that there was a bit of sage. Okay. This recipe is my own, but in Cumbria there are about 180 makers of Cumberland sausage. And one of the main things we're going to make sure goes into it is pork. And I'm going to do one today which is 90% pig. That's because I'm a pig farmer. Figures, doesn't it? Now, one thing that the Europeans haven't got right is the old traditional breakfast sausage. And the thing is, we put a little bit of rusk in. And that rusk, it can be something that cheapens a sausage, but also if you don't put it in, you don't get that nice crispy fried. So I'm going to put a little bit of rusk and a few herbs. The herbs I'm going to use is sage and pepper. And I'm going to put something called seasoning, which is salt, pepper. Was that me? Salt. All right. That's simple, isn't it? I'm going to do this in front of you, and then I'm going to put it into a skin. Do you know what the skin of a sausage is? Anybody, any ideas? Intestine, yeah? Intestine. 21 yards in a pig. We don't waste anything. So we've minced a bit of meat up there, and that's like the shoulder, a bit of the belly pork. Okay. Now, if you really want to make a cheap sausage, this is a breadcrumb, but we need a little bit in. But if I was to add water to that, it would actually absorb 3 times its own weight. So we need a little bit of sausage and a little bit of seasoning, a little bit of rusk, and then we make the sausage. The reason why I'm showing you this is because we are now in the process. Anybody heard of Parma ham? Yeah, all right, Parmesan cheese, champagne.
Oh, yes.
You've been on that stuff, have you? Well, we're going to make a record in this county because we've applied 8 years ago for what's known as a PGI, very similar to those 3 things. And we're going to make sure that traditional Cumberland sausage made in this county can only come from this county. We're not going to have it made in Manchester, Croydon or Nuremberg. And the wording is going to be traditional. I think I haven't left enough room. Traditional Cumberland sausage, and that will give you a guarantee. It'll be a PGI, phone's going, and that will give you a guarantee that it comes from Cumbria, where it should come from. It will be the only sausage in the whole of the United Kingdom that will be protected as a regional area, and I'm going to show you how I make it. And being a pig farmer, I'm going to put 90% of my pork into that. It can actually be as low as 80% because we've allowed for 1 or 2 of those poorer makers up north to eat more breadcrumbs. I put together in there 2 kilos of meat. So that's 2,000 grams. Anybody good at mathematics? I'm going to add literally 100 grams of rusk. So on 2 kilo, that's going to be, how much percentage is that? Anybody got a mathematical formula? Well, it's not a lot, is it? So I'm just going to put 100 grams of rusk in there. Are you all right on there with this microphone? As you see, this is all spur of the moment. Jamie Oliver couldn't turn up, so he got me instead. There, that's 100 grams of rusk. That's how little it is. But it is important. If I don't put rusk in, I could actually make one of them continental style sausages because I can hang it up and make it go dry like a salami. but the very fact that we actually put rusk in our sausage makes it truly British. So in it goes, a little bit of rusk, and then I've got down on here, we're going to put some seasoning. Now you don't take snuff then, do you? No, that's okay. It's a bit peppery, a bit salt, and it's got a little bit of preservative in it. Sulfur dioxide, same sort of stuff you put in wine. You said it was peppery, it was also a bit salty if you put your finger on it. If I double that amount of seasoning, okay, I can give you a shelf life that's twice as long. The point I'm making is that supermarkets are open 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. And when they say to me, sausage, how much? The second thing they say is, how long can you make it last? Well, by putting twice as much of this in, salt, sodium chloride, preservative and pepper, I can make that sausage last twice as long. So remember when you go into the supermarket the next time and you had a sausage that unfortunately you can't have a 90% meat content sausage and make it last 14 days because it would be that salty you wouldn't eat it. So down goes your meat content, up goes all the ingredients like your MSG and your flavour enhancers and your tomato sauce and your brown sauce and you name it's in there. So what I'm getting over to you is that by putting the minimum amount of preservative and salt as a seasoning in there, I'm giving you what I classify as a high quality sausage. And if you haven't eaten it by next Wednesday, get your ass back down to the market and buy another bit. Right, we're going to put a bit of sage in there, about 3 grams of sage, and then a bit of chives because I want it to look nice. I've got one other little ingredient, just to make it go into my machine a bit more. What's that? You're right, Corporation Pop. Now then, elbow grease. Any of that with you? Doesn't take a lot of doing. If you think about it, what's the main ingredient? What is the main ingredient in that sausage? Well done. Thank you for that. Now I'm going to tell you something why it's so important that we have these PGIs. The dear old Cumberland pig became extinct in about the late 60s. So really, if I wanted to be really true to the cause, I should be making it with the Cumberland pig. If you eat Cumberland sausage, then I, as the farmer, will carry on keeping pigs. So to support British pork manufacturers, buy British. There you go. I'm going to soak it a little bit. That's the intestine of a pig. Yeah, 21 yards in a pig. 100 years ago there was only 20 yards in a pig. What a load of useless information. But it's a natural commodity. It goes nice and crispy. If you go in the chip shop and you have one of them and you bite into it and it's like really tough, you know, and it sort of springs back and bites you back. Well, that's not a natural pig casing. That's actually what we call collagen casing. Devro make it. And it's reconstituted cowhide. And you know something? They've agreed in the European Union that you don't have to declare it as pork. So in other words, it isn't declared at all. At least with this, we've got something that's genuine. Now this is called skinning up. And down south, it's got a different meaning, but anyway. Okay, you've got your casing on, and then it's just a little bit of a twine. It should come slowly. There was quite a lot of mathematics in this. We went out to Barcelona last year and we made Cumberland sausage and we completely fooled them because we were selling it by the yard. Yeah, una salsiccio, 1 yard. When I had to explain it's a piccolo metro longo grande, they didn't quite understand what was coming from. But here we go. This is what you get from a traditional supplier, local, artisan, Cumberland sausage. And it's very simple, but it's also quite therapeutic. If you want to watch TV in January, we've got Michael Portillo came up and made sausage at our farm. They all come, they all go, and we all try to get famous. Of course, you might wonder why we're protecting our traditional Cumberland sausage. Well, it's quite simple, really. If I can protect it, and they can't make it in Croydon or Nuremberg, then hopefully I'll get more money for it. Yeah, you see, us farmers, you know, you think we're stupid, we're not. I'm going to say now, there you are, we're coming to the end of it. Anybody with any questions? Just a little bit of a, there you go. That's your traditional coil. They said to me, why do you make it in a coil? It's probably because we can't tie knots. There you go, that's the end of the Cumberland sausage. Thank you very much, all right. Anybody want a taste? Roll up and have a taste, and anybody any questions, give us a shout.